Would you have a spot though if you tried to get?
I was in the Laughing Skull.
Okay.
So I went to the Laughing Skull. And that was fun. I was very tired from hiking. Though.
Sometimes when I was so tired and I was like, maybe for improv, I was better on stage because I didn't really have any inhibitions.
It can either help or
let go.
Completely hinder me.
But maybe it's not so great for stand-up because you have, a set or at least an outline to remember.
Yeah.
And
but
jokes
then
and punchlines to hit.
I've had some of my best sets when I One time I did a bunch of yard work and I had a very good set.
Speaking of that, I'm very tired.
You very tired? Well, good thing we got coffee.
Yeah.
Where were we in the book?
We're at How It Works at the beginning.
Are we sure?
I'm 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can start.
We talked about. Hey.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going good.
This is the Sober Boys podcast.
This is Sober Boys podcast.
This is episode 12.
Drew's a snake. I thought you were going to say I'm a snake. Is it episode 12?
I believe so. It's episode 12, as the Spaniards would say. Real quick PSA, you know what? Our opinions that we share,
me and Drew,
that we're going to talk about right now and we've talked about before, are not the opinions shared by the Central Office of Alcoholics Anonymous or any 12-step program. Our intention is to help those and entertain those, but they're, opinions are mainly for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah. Like, for instance, I believe all tires should, when they're done, they should explode.
In a safe way.
Yeah. But AA does not believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
Yeah. And I believe all snakes are gay. But
I believe that too. But AA does not believe that.
AA does not believe that.
I see a snake. I'm like,
girl work.
Girl work. And if you look closely, all snakes wearing a little bit of lipstick.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit.
Long eyelashes, one earring.
Why do you think when they bite you, they leave a little? All right.
Yeah. Like vampires, because vampires also gay.
Hey, my name's Drew, and I'm an alcoholic.
I'm Drew, and I'm an alcoholic.
That's wrong.
Just a trick. I'm Taylor. I'm an alcoholic. Drew, what'd you do to stay sober today? I beat you to it this time.
Do I say that first all the time? I probably do.
Yep.
I'm very, very. I don't work on my control. It's one of my character defects.
Control?
Flaws. Yeah.
I just never get to it, so you ask me.
I prayed 2 different prayers: the Serenity Prayer and the Third Step Prayer.
Cool.
While I was at work because I forgot to pray in the morning. So I beelined it and I was like, just kind of mumbled to myself. Mm-hmm. Called 3 alcoholics, spoke to 1. Sometimes it'd be like that.
Did they call back?
No. Sometimes it'd be like that.
Sometimes it does.
You just put forth the effort and I'll probably call my sponsor after I'm done doing this. And then we're having our own little meeting here. So those are check marks all around.
Check a doodle do.
Oh, and I talked to my sponsee. So there you go. Look at all that. Hey, Taylor, what did you do to stay sober today?
What did I do to stay sober today? I prayed.
Hey, that's a good start.
And I started to call you, but then I hung up.
I was wondering about that.
Because we're going to see each other so soon.
I would have answered, but I was watching the finale of Ted Lasso, which was
that's right.
It was good.
And I talked to our friend, and
you make up a name for him?
We did believe his name last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crow Boy.
Oh, Crow Boy.
Yeah, Crow Boy.
Man, he's always got crows in his pits.
Yeah. They fly out of his pits. And I called my sponsor.
All right.
I'm going to see him tonight for dinner.
Ooh.
The one guy who does, have you been there? The Ponce meeting, the one guy who owns a restaurant, he has people over on Wednesdays.
Oh.
For food.
Oh, that's fun.
He cooks a big old mess of food.
Oh, shit. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's good.
I've never been invited.
I'm going to get free dinner. You're invited right now. Formally invited. Everyone's invited.
I'm actually going to a musical here at the fabulous Fox Theater in Atlanta, Georgia.
I've never been to the Fox
Theater. Going to watch a little Hairspray. Not my favorite musical in the world, but it's my significant other's, one of her favorites. It's fine. About? It's about fighting for equal rights and fat rights in Baltimore in the 1960s and singing damn good songs.
Is it based off a true story?
There's a bandstand aspect, and then there's civil rights aspect, and then there's everybody's okay for no matter what shape and size. The lead character is fat. That's famous. She's famously fat.
Huh.
And then the mom is usually played by a larger. The mom of the lead character is usually famously played by a larger male, like Harvey Firestein, who is a Broadway standout.
I like when a man plays a woman. But like Louis Anderson in baskets?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
They're
if Louis
incredible.
Anderson could sing, he would. Well, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But he would have been a great mom in Hairspray.
Yeah. Louis Anderson was one of my favorite. He just has some of the best sets.
So charming.
Oh yeah.
You want to just root for him.
Yeah, in such a weird way. He had
I didn't like Baskets. I was indifferent, but his performance, I'd watch for his performance.
I liked him more than Zach Galifianakis
Yeah.
in Baskets.
And I like Zach Galifianakis
Yeah,
as
me
an overall
too.
performer. Anyways, so I'm going to be doing that instead. But
Yes.
your thing sounds also very fun.
Meeting and a dinner.
Meeting and a dinner.
Like dinner in a, what is it? Dinner in a...
Dinner and a movie,
Yeah,
Turner South style. Okay, Taylor, back in my day, we had this channel called Turner South in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And we had a thing called Dinner and a Movie, which came on usually after the Braves game.
Dinner in a booby.
That's on Cinemax.
Yeah.
And you know,
What's Cinemax?
yeah, never mind.
I'm kidding. I know what Cinemax is.
Oh, no.
I just wanted to
I
pretend
don't
to
want
be
you
a
to know.
little child for a second. I'm 27. Drew is 45.
Yeah, 45 years old. No, I'm 32. I feel like I'm 45 right now. Anyways,
Movie and a dinner. Dinner and a movie.
we are in an exciting part. This is a
Ooh.
podcast about 12 steps, AA,
Of it.
program, recovery, all that stuff.
How Drew and Taylor are doing it. How we're staying alive. One more day. Defeating alcohol.
One more day.
Defeating alcoholism. One prayer at a time.
Man, I wish I went to. Never mind. I was gonna say I wish I was watching Les Mis.
I've never wished that for myself.
I don't either. Not the Danny Boyle version, but the actual. Anyways,
Danny Boyle. That guy sounds so Irish.
he does. I say he's English.
Danny Boyle. Well, it makes me think of the song Danny Boy.
Oh, Danny Boyle.
Ready for premium? I'm not.
We are getting through these first 164 pages of the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous.
We only
It's
have-
what the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, Bill Wilson, wrote out to help guide people like you and me, alcoholics,
Yes, if
who
you're just-
cannot drink like normal people.
If
Helps
you're-
us live a life.
If you're just joining us.
Yeah, I like to just
No, that's what
Recap.
they say on radio.
Yeah, previously on Sober Boys, we just finished
Previously.
up. I can speak sometimes. We just finished up We Agnostic, so we talked a whole bunch about God, and now we're gonna get into how it works.
How it works.
And how it works is exciting.
How it works, there's a secret surprise at the end.
Maybe.
It's the promises.
Oh yeah, there is a secret surprise at the
I
end.
ruined it.
You're right.
Surprise spoiled.
They don't know what the promises are yet.
They are. You'll be rich. You won't be scared of ghosts anymore. They are.
So the first 2.5 pages. Well, yep, first 2.5 pages or so
Oh, yeah,
are
good point.
read. At least in Atlanta AA.
Yeah.
At a lot of meetings are read before the meeting begins.
Yeah.
It's like one of the things we read, the 12 traditions, which we'll talk
Yes.
about later, that helps a meeting stay a meeting. And then we read how it works. And then we read some promises at the end or at the beginning.
And if you get the how it works reading, that's always the longest one.
Yeah, you're doing
It's
some real service.
so
If
long.
you're looking for service, just volunteer to read how it works.
It's like 2.5, 3, 4
a lot
minutes
of the
long.
meetings that I like to go to now just kind of go through the 12 steps.
Yeah.
But the 12 steps are, we won't give too much away, but they are in how it works.
Yeah, they are. At the NABA, the 9:30 meeting that I went to for a while, my first home group in Atlanta, they didn't read anything at the beginning. They just got right into the literature.
Okay.
Yeah, and people, that was a group conscious.
Didn't they
choice.
read grapevines? A lot of grapevines in the 9:30?
Yeah.
Or they had a grapevine
They had a
day?
grapevine meeting. They have a
Okay.
meeting every day except Sunday.
Okay. Anyways, but I don't know exactly because I think when I was in meetings in New York, we didn't read a bunch of how it works. But when I was in meetings in San Francisco, we read how it works. So
Yeah.
it just depends on the meeting.
San Francisco.
San Francisco,
Yeah.
where all the snakes are.
Is that
Oh,
true?
Because I said snakes are gay. And it's like, you're
Oh,
gay.
yeah. I bet the San Francisco Zoo has snakes.
Yeah.
Gay snakes.
It's a LGBTQ, oasis.
Snakes.
Okay, so you know what? I'll start. This
Off
time
we go.
around. Off we go. We're at chapter 5 of the Big Book. We're gonna read and talk a little bit about it. We are in chapter How It Works, and this is how it begins. Rarely, and we're going in the book. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. By path, we're talking about working the 12 steps we're about to read.
Not cobblestones.
They can be metaphorical cobblestones if
They
there's
could.
12 of them. Back to the book. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. That's going to be a big part right in here. It's honesty. There are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a matter of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those, too, who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. So that's a big one. That's cornerstone, whatever you want to call it. Honesty, open-mindedness, willingness. Willingness breeds from, you got to be honest with yourself when you, initially, when you're like, I'm struggling.
Yes.
I need help.
Yeah.
In order to open that door of like, okay, what action do I need to do?
Yeah, asking for help does require a bit of honesty.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to lie about themselves struggling.
When I was going in and out, I was not completely honest with myself because first I was like, oh, I want to drink like a normal person.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I just want to drink.
Yeah.
And I want to trick people into thinking that I can drink so I can have alcohol in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So that was not me being honest. And once I finally realized I could not have, consume any sort of alcohol, any sort of substance or anything like that because I don't have any sort of control. We talked about this. That's when that true honesty kind of bred into willingness. Taylor choking on some water. He's got two different types of drinking problems.
One is
You all right?
It's the snacks. Yeah. No, I need more water.
But yeah, I'll get back into it.
Okay.
Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. It's hard to not just pause and go through every line of this because it's all really important. But what they say of like what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now.
Yeah.
Any sort of like when we say we're going to a speaker meeting, which means like the speaker that's leading the meeting will tell everybody their story of what they were like, what happened, what they're like now.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of the structure.
Yeah. If we do get into the stories, that's the structure after page 164.
Yeah.
But we've already read one story. That was Bill's story. And so there you go.
Is at the front.
And then they've had other little mini examples too. At some of these we bought. Wait, no, just kidding.
I like the word balked.
Yeah.
Not like a chicken though. 'Cause that's probably like B-O-K, right?
I think of a baseball balk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So here we go. So it says, if you've decided you want what we have, which is a successful life within the community of Alcoholics Anonymous and just in and out, and are willing to go to any length to get it, willing to take on any suggestion from a sponsor, then you are ready to take certain steps. Now you're ready to do the steps.
Yeah.
At some of these we balked. Like I said, I think of like a baseball pitcher.
I do not think of a chicken. I want to clarify. I do not think of a chicken because it's spelled B.
Balk?
Yeah.
You could think of a chicken.
No, I don't though. I liked how it is, how it's spelled, how it looks. It's a good word.
I think of Johnny Cueto dropping the ball in that playoff game against the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2014. He dropped the ball as a balk.
Is it Braves?
No, it was Reds versus Pittsburgh.
Or it was a playoff game.
Yeah.
He dropped it. Balks are weird.
They are weird.
Why is it a thing? It's like if the pitcher fucks up a little bit.
It's mainly implemented for left-handed pitchers not to like take advantage of picking somebody off.
Yeah.
If their whole body's going towards home plate already, they can't be like JK.
Yeah.
And then it's for the flow of the game. They can't trick the runner.
Yeah.
Because if they and you have to come set and shit like that. It's a whole lot of things, but it's mainly for the so a pitcher doesn't cheat in terms of picking somebody else.
Especially a left-handed pitcher.
All
That's
right.
a good rule.
At some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer way. We cannot. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. So that's just what I think of is just like me going in and out, relapsing over and over and over and over again. I was holding on to some form of old idea.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't do that.
Yeah.
We've done this. Listen to us. But I'm like, yeah, whatever. But they're telling you right here, we've done the research. It's not great. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power. That one is God. So the one is capitalized. It's talking about the higher power again. May you find him now. So there's just no middle road. Half measure, like we're going to read it right now. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked for his protection and care with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. All right, we're getting to the steps now. 1, we admitted that we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. It's got 2 parts in that. That we first are honest with ourselves and we understand that we were powerless over alcohol, and that that our lives had also become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So that's not even praying yet. That's just being like, perhaps there's something there.
These are
suck.
gimme steps.
Yeah, I suck at running my life. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. Ooh, as we understood him is italicized. Fucking cha-ching.
I've never, I haven't really considered the as we understood him now. Or we understood him. I never really thought about that. How it says as we understand him. Is it just saying like it's a we program, not a me program?
Yeah. I like the we because my higher power is represented in the group of alcoholics, group of drunks. It's represented in like if I'm ever in a bind or I'm going back to those old ideas or I'm struggling, then I can always go to my phone and there's more than just one number on my phone.
Yeah.
And so that we helps me kind of get out of it. And
my book has a bunch of numbers from Ohio.
Oh, look at that.
How many of these people do you think are dead? Wait, this person put their snap. Oh my gosh.
So we'll check that out and put that on our Patreon when we make it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Let's flood these people's inboxes.
All right.
Only works if you call.
We're getting through the steps. So that was step 3 is
hey, we should call Jeff.
is praying to again.
Okay, here we go.
4.
4.
Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. We'll talk more about that when we get there. That's the actual physical work.
Oh yeah.
Of writing down resentments and shit.
It works if you work it.
Yep. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. That one can seem scary, but we'll talk about that when we read it. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Doesn't seem like much of a step, but it's super important. 7, humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings. Once again, doesn't feel like much of an action, but it's
6
super
and
important.
7 are the shortest ones to do.
It's the shortest in the book.
So quick.
Yeah. We'll get to that, but they're ongoing and consistent.
Yeah, that's
right?
the point. Maybe they're the longest. Maybe I misspoke.
No. They're the shortest literally in the book.
Yeah, I was right about what I said. I wasn't wrong.
In terms of sentences devoted to it in the book. But we'll also get into why that doesn't matter and why it's continuous. And then 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. That you see
Everyone's
a lot of
favorite.
Yeah.
Is make amends.
And then 9 made direct amends to
Yes.
such people wherever possible,
Everyone
except when they
loves
do
it.
so when injured them or others. Sometimes you get really disgraced or upset newcomers being like, I got to set things right.
Yeah.
I'm all clean now. I've got 30 days. I got to make my
Oh, yeah.
apologies.
Make all of them now apologies.
Yeah.
They're going to apologize to everyone.
Or like I think you see that most portrayed in like media, television, and film is like those amends. Seinfeld episode about it way back when.
Yeah.
That's also a little more complex than just those 2 lines.
Yeah.
But they're also really beneficial. And then 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. That's writing your own inventory, sometimes afterwards at night. Sometimes people consider 10 and 11 going together. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him. There that is again. Praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. That's the meditation part.
Awfully funny coincidence. 12 isn't on the same page as the rest.
What does it pretty
mean?
important.
What does it mean?
12,
Conspiracy.
having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, and that's the promise right there. So you will,
Spiritual.
and if you don't want to go that far, that early on, just remember the word psychic change. So you can replace it with having had a psychic change. Anyways.
Or just a better attitude.
Yeah.
Being a better guy.
You're just less of a dick. After being less of a dick.
Are you a better
as the
guy
res-
now? Did you do this stuff? Now you're a better guy?
Yeah.
Hey, it worked.
After
Sorry,
being less
it
of a
worked.
selfish asshole as
Yeah.
the result of these steps, that's what
Yeah.
it should say. We tried to carry this message of being less of a selfish asshole
Yes.
to and not drinking. That's all this is. To other alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs.
What about to practice these vice principles in all our affairs?
Well, that's you gotta ask.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
I just thought it'd be funny to say vice principles instead of principles.
it's not as important as the
Yeah.
regular principles.
Yeah.
Many of us, back to the book, many of us exclaimed, "What an order! I can't go through with it." Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. That's really important for me to remember. I ain't no saint.
I got something stupid to say. We are not the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, thank God. Fuck the Saints.
Yeah, they.
Fuck 'em.
One of the worst. One of the. Dumb, I don't like that team.
I hate them. Love New
They're
Orleans.
dumb.
Hate the Saints. Fuck them.
I don't care about. But then again, I'm from Ohio, so
As an Atlanta
Browns
sports
and
fan,
Bengals.
I don't care about the Falcons because it's such a garbage franchise, but you're raised to despise the Saints.
Why?
Just cuz.
They're neighbors.
Fuck them.
No,
That's
they're not
why.
neighbors.
Just cuz fuck them.
Okay,
That's it.
that's fair. Because that's what when the Saints were here, there was a big air in the city of like, fuck the Saints.
Yeah. Anyways, we are not, but that's the line. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles.
Yeah.
It's really important for me to remember because because if I revert back to my old way of thinking, I'm a very take the ball home and leave type thing. If I
Yeah.
can't do it perfectly, why should I do it at all?
Yeah.
Type thing. That's where it gets. That's my like childish way of thinking that can come back. But if I'm a little nicer to myself and I'm like, that's okay. This is progress, not perfection. It's okay. Because the point is, back to the book, that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapter to the agnostic, and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. A, that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism because no human is perfect. And then C, that God could and would if he, she, it, they were sought.
That fella over there.
Yeah, that guy over there, that doorknob over there. Being convinced okay. So that is what after that C. That's what's normally read in meetings.
Yep.
I feel like I've talked all the way through it, so I'll pass it back off to you. But do you have anything else to add about?
Well,
Not
that's
to put
step
you on
1
the
and 2.
spot.
That's step 1 and 2 right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel
that
like
we were alcoholic, could I manage our own lives? That's step
I
1
feel
and
like
2.
when a teacher asks me a question, like in elementary school, I had nothing to add at all.
That's why I didn't want to put the
But
pressure
it's
on
just
you.
like,
But I feel like
man,
I've been talking a lot.
I hated doing that. I hated when a teacher would like, because I clearly hadn't studied at all or nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I lied about studying once.
I would cram. I was a crammer.
I just wouldn't study.
I would cram because I get afraid, but then in college I wouldn't study.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even show up for the class. I was too
Oh.
drunk and hungover.
Man. My English final.
But yeah, that probably no human power could have restored us to alcohol. That's 2 and 3.
To alcohol?
To alcoholism. Sorry, relieved our
okay.
alcoholism. My bad. And then B and C are 3 and 4. Sorry. No,
All right.
2 and 3. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get another bottle of water. Hold right there. Drew's gonna tell you a story about something good.
All right. As Taylor's getting another bottle of water, I guess I got to fill the airtime because there's no editing anymore because my computer's dead. Oh, man. That thing that I told you about? Let's see. I really believe we're...
Tell the people what they should look forward
Um...
to. Coming in the future days.
Oh, man. There's so many good
You can even tell them about, like, in
episodes.
your life coming up. Tell them where you're going to be, Drew.
You
Give
catch
me your tour
me
dates.
working probably coffee events. You probably can't make it because they're ordered by different offices. All right.
Too much coffee,
You
not
good?
enough water. I was dehydrated.
I'm going to pass it back off to you.
Thank you. Here we go. Back
Still
to
on
the
page
book.
60. Back to the book.
Did you have anything else to add about that?
No, I've been talking too much. That's why I was talking to you.
Being convinced. We were at step 3, which is that we decided to turn our will and our life over to God as we understood him. Just what do we mean by that, and just what do we do? The first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. On that basis, we're almost always in collision with something or somebody, even though our motives are good. Most people try to live by self-propulsion, like a rocket. Each person is like an actor who wants to run the whole show. Man,
or a rocket trying to run the whole show.
A rocket trying to direct the
Just
movie.
a big old fat rocket. Just being like...
Yeah, the director for this movie is kind of... Is he a rocket?
You see? Because he's always trying to get up into space.
Yeah, and he's like...
Like a bottlenose type thing. I don't know. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to push any
the director,
buttons, especially the one that might send him up.
Yeah. We don't want another Houston, we have a problem situation.
Yeah, Houston's always having a problem.
Houston, get it together.
Yeah.
Each person is like an actor who wants to run the whole show, is forever trying to arrange the lights, the ballet, the scenery, and the rest of the players in his own way. If his arrangements would only stay put, if only people would do as he wished, the show would be great. Everybody, including himself, would be pleased. Life would be wonderful. In trying to make these arrangements, our actor may sometimes be quite virtuous. He may be kind, considerate, patient, generous, even modest and self-sacrificing.
Wow, it's all good things.
He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with this? I kind of like this self-will thing. That sounds kind of nice.
Yeah, what's going on?
Let's have the self-will podcast.
This is now Self-Will Podcast.
Yes.
We've shifted.
And that's how we died. On the other hand, he may be mean, egotistical, selfish, and dishonest. Wait a minute, that wasn't like those other things. But as with most humans, he is more likely to have varied traits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So self-will is just, to me, it's just like, feels like this.
Yeah.
That's how I was living most of my life, was trying to control everything.
My
it was
jaw,
very frustrating.
My jaw always used to be tight.
You're just like,
it felt like
it's not supposed to go that way.
It felt like I always had some tension in my jaw.
I was, I had a lot of rage.
Yeah.
And that was, I feel like, derived because things didn't meet my expectations.
Yeah.
And I felt like I could, because I couldn't control people, places, or things, or situations, or outcomes enough. And so I would just get mad and lash out and have a little child tantrum.
Oh, I finished my antibiotics today.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I did all of them.
I'm proud of you.
They always say don't stop them. So I did.
And
I
you
did them all. I did all my antibiotics.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. See,
But-
these are like the promises you can get from going to AA. You finish your medicine.
Yeah. You have to finish all the medicine. You can't just stop at step 4. You got to do all of them.
When was the last time you took antibiotics, Drew?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, it doesn't really help me.
Back to the book.
What usually happens, the show doesn't come off very well. He begins to think life doesn't treat him right. He decides to exert himself more. He becomes on the next occasion still more demanding or gracious, as the case may be. Still, the play does not suit him. Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, things never happen. I think I don't know what this is like for me being, I feel like I'm never 100% pleased with anything.
Yeah.
Like, I was at Tallulah Gorge on Monday hiking, and I was like, this is pretty. But then I was like, I should be enjoying this more, and I'm not. It's like, then I'm like, I blame that on caffeine for some reason. Like, maybe I drink too much caffeine, and it makes me like real caffeinated, and then I get tired.
Yeah. It's very hard for me not to have expectations.
Uh-huh.
And when you have expectations, it's just very difficult to have them met.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I've been watching a lot of TV and a lot of season finales, and I'm like, this is not what I expected.
Yeah, one show in particular.
Yeah, or like a new season, and I was like, this is not what I expected. And it's not bad, but it's just not what I expected. So maybe the point is to be present and of service.
Yeah, maybe you go back and watch it through rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, I get those from Amazon.
Admitting he may be somewhat at fault, he is sure that other people are more to blame. He becomes angry, indignant, self-pitying. What is his basic trouble? Is he not really a self-seeker, even when trying to be kind? Is he not a victim of the delusion that he can rest? Rest is spelled with a W there. I don't know if that's a mistake or an actual word.
Rest, satisfaction, and happiness, like rest.
To the dictionary! Oh, I thought you were pulling out your phone. Oh,
yeah,
yes,
I'll also look it up.
you also did a cracking pepper motion right there.
I was like ringing it
Ooh, I can't wait to find out what rest means.
I'm
It
pretty
can mean
sure I'm right.
right now. It can mean so many different things in my head because I don't know what it means. And here we go. Rest means
out. Forcibly pull from a person's grasps. So it's more like that.
no one says that word anymore.
I like it.
I'm gonna start saying it.
Wrest that away from you.
What about like why did you like you're sharing pizza and it's the last piece and you have it in your hand, but someone wants it more, so that they rest the pizza.
I dare you to wrest it upon from my hand.
Yeah. Is it like a short form of wrestle?
Maybe. Am I looking this up?
Drew's our dictionary guy. Give it up for a dictionary guy.
Forcibly pull, similar to wrench, snatch, or seize.
Snatch is a pretty funny word.
Yeah. I'm not seeing any of the etymology is not coming up right from the first page of Google. I'm very sorry.
God, it's hard.
It's Old English.
Man, it's just Bill was on one again.
Yeah, man. It's a Germanic in origin.
Once again, Bill was on one.
We got there.
Okie dokie, if you say so. Where were we? Rest. More to blame. Indignant. If you're not evident. Here. And do not his actions make each of them wish to retaliate. Snatching. All they can get out of the show.
Or retching.
Is he not, even in his best moments, a producer of confusion rather than harmony? Our actor is self-centered. So there's a lot going on in the hallway right now for some reason.
It's okay.
People coming in and out.
It's all good.
Our actor is self-centered, egocentric, as people like to call it nowadays. He is like the retired businessman who lolls in the Florida sunshine in the winter, complaining of the sad state of the nation. The minister who sighs over the sins of the 20th century. Politicians and reformers who sure all would be utopia if the rest of the world would only behave. The outlaw safecracker who thinks, was it a white safe?
The outlaw safecracker.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's cracking like bank safes.
Yeah. The outlaw safecracker who thinks society has wronged him, and the alcoholic who has lost all and is locked up. Whatever our protestations are, not most of us concerned with ourselves, our resentments, or our self-pity. So basically, what Bill's saying is we're basically on like the level of safecrackers and politicians.
Armchair quarterbacks.
Yeah, we're like really good. We're like
back in my day, like you can those guys who peaked in high school who was like watching the game now, being like, see, they shouldn't have played that call. They should have passed it.
I had a JV coach when I played football that seemed to really live in high school.
Yeah.
And high school's I never want to go back there.
They're all a bunch of Uncle Ricos and
why would
Napoleon Dynamite.
Ever want to go back to high school? I didn't know anything.
If you peaked in high school, that's where you want to go.
How did you peak How did you peak? How does anyone peak?
Because you quit growing.
Like physically or mentally?
Maybe both. I like this paragraph a lot, especially the example of an actor trying to step in to be a director of things, representing one's own self-will, trying to there's not going to be a situation where you don't rustle some feathers, step on some toes or something like that.
Rustle some toes.
Step
on some feathers.
When I was doing improv comedy back in the day.
That's right, back in the day.
I would write shows, but it was very difficult to write these shows because they're centered around improvisation. So ultimately, there were just outlines to what I wanted to happen. But I would write the shows, and sometimes I would be outside trying to direct it. But once again, they were outlines.
Yeah.
And I had once the show was off, it was off. And I could tell them, the actors, where I wanted it to go or where I thought it should go, but it's out of my fucking control.
Yeah.
So once I step outside the house, it's just like that. I have in my head an outline of how I want the day to go, but it is out. Much of it is out of my fucking control.
Yeah.
So that's what I think of when it's like the actor trying to step in, and if I try to step in, it all goes to shit.
Because I originally moved to Atlanta for acting and stuff, and when I would hear this. For some reason, there's always been like maybe just a little when I was trying to pursue acting and stuff, like a little bit of shame, like I'm an actor. I don't, for some reason.
Yeah.
I have embarrassment about that period of my life because doing comedy is just so much more fun for me.
Yeah. An acting career can be cringe.
Yeah.
If you're not self-aware enough and you don't. I don't know. Yeah. I get it.
I just I don't know who listens to this, but I find comedians are more of the people I like to spend time with.
Yeah, there's a lot more honesty in good comedy. I mean, good comedy is honest.
Yeah.
Observations and facts about life.
There's a lot of actors that are just like delusional and just not fun. It's weird. It's not as fun of a group. I won't say much more.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the person.
Yeah, it really does.
And people like we're about to read are not perfect, and they're dealing with their own stuff, and they don't have.
Well, who's the most perfectest in your eyes?
Most perfectest? Dolly Parton, I guess.
Yeah, she does.
In terms of like human perfect,
she donates books.
She's probably like would be a modern day saint.
You think so?
Yeah.
She's really
she's like a Mother Teresa type.
She lives
essence.
in Nashville, right?
Yeah, in Tennessee. Yeah, somewhere in Tennessee.
She's big fake breasts.
Yeah. Costs a lot of money to look this cheap. That's what she says.
What'd she say?
Costs a lot of money to look this cheap.
Oh, that's hilarious. What if Mother Teresa had gotten big fake breasts?
I think that should have happened. Had a bunch of children. Yeah. Just big old juicy ones. A nun's cap and big old fatties. Comes right out there.
To here now, the heavies.
Oh man, that's great. That should have been. I think you should leave sketch.
Where the heck are we?
I'll pick it up.
No, I got it.
Okay.
No, you got it.
This is really good, and I really like it, and I'll probably talk too much about it. But back to the book, page 62. Selfishness and self-centeredness. That we think is the root of our troubles. Driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity, we step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate.
What about like when you're in active drinking?
You're going to talk about Mother Teresa and booze again.
What if she also got a big fake ass? No,
so Nicki Minaj level Mother Teresa.
You ever see like someone with a big fake butt? Obviously,
yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, because it's like toothpicks in it. Yeah. Anyways, what was your first thing?
Like being in active alcoholism, drinking and using. I feel like I was driven by 100 forms of beers.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking.
Okay, I'm sorry I messed that timing up.
No, that's okay.
I really fudged that timing up.
Mother Teresa also big fake spine.
Big what?
Big fake spine. So fake breast, fake ass, fake spine.
Yeah.
I don't know how that advantages.
Literally and metaphorically, sure.
You don't understand, Drew. Literally just a fake spine put in her body.
Okay.
Bones.
Are you trying to pitch me a new Jason Bourne movie with Mother Teresa?
I want you to say what she is fake next.
She's got fake values.
Okay.
She's on the surface very giving and everything, but it's all a front, and that's part of the movie.
Yeah.
All right.
One more, please.
We're on one. We're on one. But I definitely, when I'm in it, and I'm, my self-will is in it, all this shit is true in my life, driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity. It's really easy to fall back into the comfort of living in fear for me. Sometimes, back to the book, sometimes they hurt. So we're talking about people, we step on people's toes and they retaliate. Sometimes they hurt us seemingly without provocation, but we invariably find that at some time in the past, we have made decisions based on self, which later placed us in a position to be hurt. So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making, which is good because we can, figure this shit out if they're our own making.
Yeah. It is one thing.
But don't do it by yourself.
It's interesting to like, my recent relapses have been over pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
Just like alcoholism, me not treating alcoholism. And it's weird to like relapse and then come back and start working the steps over again. It's like, I have nothing else, like no new things to make amends about.
Oh yeah.
And it's weird to like go back out. And the only person I really harmed was myself.
Yeah.
And then so that's what, when I did a fourth, fifth step on one specific area of my life, it's weird how that seemed to be, for some reason, that really helped.
Yeah, I mean, that's the benefit of if you've done a fourth step in the, recent past and you've relapsed, then you can kind of get back down to the specifics of, an emotion or an aspect in your life. Mm-hmm. Like you said, you did a specific comedy fourth step.
No, it was about you.
Oh, okay. It's just
the Drew or the
1,400 pages, 1,400 words. But yeah, I mean, and that's the nice thing about coming back after. See you later, water bottle. That's the thing after about coming back to a relapse that I say you can pick this shit up, comes back.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly too. It snaps back. It's like a fucking rubber band.
Like one of those wrist snapper things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those?
Yeah. The wrist, the snap
Where'd those
bracelets.
go?
Snap bracelet. They disappeared into the 90s and early 2000s.
Because they were kind of here.
Still in the back room of Eclairs, I'm sure.
I'm sure there's bunches of them.
Yeah. Polluting the environment. So we're getting back to the book.
If you're just joining us, we're getting back to the book.
So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making. They arise out of ourselves, and the alcoholic is an extreme example of self-will run riot, though he usually doesn't think so. So that's quite a conundrum. Above everything, we alcoholics must be rid of this selfishness. We must, or it kills us. God makes that possible. And there often seems no way of entirely getting rid of self without his aid, or their aid, or it aid. Live aid. Sorry. Many of us have, back to the book, many of us have had moral and philosophical convictions galore, but we could not live up. Yeah, cannot live up to them.
I've always liked that word galore.
Yeah.
I've always loved the word galore.
It's a presentative word. Now you got me. Many of us had more moral and philosophical convictions galore, but we could not live up to them even though we would have liked to. Neither could we reduce our self-centeredness much by wishing or trying on our own power. We had to have God's help, or just a help outside yourself.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too bogged down and be like, gotta find God, gotta find him right now, become newborn. Like, it's not that.
Make the rooms your higher power.
Yeah, whatever you seek for help outside yourself.
Group of ducks.
Quackity quack, baby. Not geese, because geese are fucking assholes.
Oh man, I met the nicest English bulldog today. Lysandra Vasquez's bulldog. She's a comedian. She is the nicest dog I've ever met.
What?
So sweet.
How did we get from geese to the nicest bulldog?
Because I thought ducks are funny.
Okay.
And then this dog was also funny.
Okay, cool.
And I honestly wanted to shout out her dog.
Okay, cool. Shout out that bulldog. So could that it's outside yourself. That bulldog can help you out.
Trying to maybe bring in like the dog audience to the show.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that would. Here, boy.
It's tough to get into. It's tough to
Here,
break
boy.
that in. Caesar Milan, I think, dominates the dog podcast because he's all about.
Does he do a
dominate?
podcast?
You have to be in a dominant stance. I'm talking about the dog whisperer.
I made a dog get mad yesterday.
I'm gonna finish this paragraph and then back to the book.
And then we'll talk about dogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is how, and
we do it. God damn it!
I'm trying, man.
I know.
This is the how and why of it. First of all, we had to quit playing God. It didn't work. Next, we did. Yeah, hear that, Dr. Frankenstein?
Oh,
that's for you, Dr. Franks.
Bill wrote this for Dr.
Fucking Mary Shelley was trying to warn us. She wrote.
I don't know much about the Frankenstein story. I've just seen it.
It's written by Mary Shelley.
Oh, a lady or a man?
Lady.
Oh.
Percy Shelley was the don't get me started.
Ooh, what more does Drew know?
Don't get me started. Let me restart this paragraph. This is the how and why of it. First of all, we had to quit playing God. It didn't work. Next, we decided that hereafter in this drama of life, God was going to be our director. He's the principal, not the vice principal. We are his agents. Yes. Not like Matrix agents. He is the father and we are his children. Kind of creepy, but we'll move on. Most good ideas are simple, and this concept was the keystone of our new and triumphant arch through which we pass through freedom. Bill's on one, baby.
Man, Drew, you're so serious up until that paragraph.
Yeah.
That paragraph really. You know what the word
Bill got on one, so I had to call him out.
Triumphant kind of makes me think of the word trumpet.
Dizzy Gillespie was a hell of a player.
I don't know who that is.
Is that his name? I don't know.
There's a comedian named Billy Joe Gillespie.
Okay, so
now what can we garner
quit
from
playing
that?
God.
We can, yeah, I never really felt. I don't know if I ever felt like I was in control of my life.
I wanted to control everything.
Yeah,
because I was so afraid.
But
that's as simple as that. I was so afraid of what could happen.
I was anxious about like when I was a kid. I don't know if I told you this before, but when I was a kid. When I was waiting for a friend to come over to my house or someone to pick me up, I would pace around the house and keep looking out the window watching for them. I can't when I'm waiting for someone, I can't kill time by I don't know how to kill time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause I'm waiting.
Being by myself too. Yeah. I get that. I was just in fear as a kid all the time.
Yeah.
I would stay up and listen to my parents downstairs. Because as long as I could hear them, that means a burglar didn't come and murder them.
Yeah. Oh my.
That's where I was.
Wow.
That's where I was.
Were you afraid of burglars?
Yeah.
I was afraid.
I was weirdly afraid of quicksand.
I was afraid
because I think I watched too much Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah. I was as a kid really afraid of someone breaking into the house because I read this People magazine article when I was getting a haircut or a doctor's appointment one time. It was a People magazine about this family that was brutally murdered in their house by a stabbing guy.
Why would People magazine have that?
I don't know.
Kids can reach for that.
Maybe it was Murders Weekly or something.
Oh yeah,
but,
Murders Weekly is.
But I read
that's
this,
some good writing,
and this made me not convinced, but like put a healthy fear in me of someone. I grew up in an upper middle class neighborhood. Crime never happened.
No, mine did. Me too. Crime never happened. But I was like, burglar's gonna happen.
Yeah, I was worried someone was gonna break into my house. I was also convinced as a kid that an alien touched my head in my sleep once because like. I thought
I couldn't sleep after 2 weeks after watching the movie Signs and Night Shyamalan.
I couldn't. I slept in my parents' bed for a long time after someone showed us Dawn of the Dead at a wrestling tournament.
Oh yeah.
Which as a kid, I was a scared kid. I was scared of so much stuff.
Scared too.
I was so scared. I got bit by a dog as a kid too.
Oh really?
In middle
that
school.
Sucks.
That one hurt.
Oh,
it was a small dog, but it left the biggest bruise on my leg.
Yeah. Yeah. These like little silly fears hop up in my life today where I'm like, oh, I've got this big long work week.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I'm being asked to do stuff that I haven't done before.
Yeah.
And what if I fail?
Yeah.
And that's the same feeling I got after watching Signs, and I'm like, an alien's gonna come get me.
Yeah, it's weird how like when you're a kid you have these crazy fears, like maybe big fat guy will steal you or something,
wait, was he a great big fat guy?
Or like aliens abduct you, and then as you turn into adult, they're just like fears like, oh, I'm going to do a bad job at work.
But you know what I mean? It's the same feeling.
I want to be afraid of bigger things again.
Yeah, of more fantastical things. I wish I was afraid of more fantastical things. Now it's just like, what if somebody thinks I do a bad job?
Yeah.
And then,
which is more that's more like it sits in my gut fear.
At the same time, that those the fantastical fears as a kid and then the adult work fears paralyze me.
Yeah.
Even last week, I was paralyzed, and I was talking to my therapist about this. Then we'll move on. It was like I didn't drink or anything, but it was almost I quit doing, like when we talk about what we do to stay sober, I quit doing that stuff. We called it almost like a lifestyle relapse.
Yeah.
And so if got back to what we were just reading, if we're
painstaking.
If we're by ourselves in this, if we're running our lives by ourselves in self-will, then those fears are going to run our lives.
Yeah.
But with the group of drunks and guys that we know from the program and whatever you build your higher power into, you can live your life past those fears and grow.
There's this one guy, he's a director. He goes to a lot of meetings we go to. He drives a nice Porsche, and then he pulled up in an old Mercedes though.
Ooh.
At a meeting, and I said, "Oh, is this your car?" He said, "Why do you keep asking me if these are my cars? Why wouldn't they be something?" And I feel like I really offended him.
Fancy Felix. I love Fancy Felix.
I feel like I really offended him because he seemed annoyed, and then I was like, "No one wants me to be here." I feel like I was sort of annoying everyone. This is more great. 45 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Boy. Yeah, and this week I've had, because I'm starting this big painting job tomorrow, and I've had fear around that. Like, just, I don't know, because it's such a big job, just dreading, like, it's going to take
Have you done a job that big before?
No.
See? That's natural. And realizing it's natural and realizing that it'll all work out. And also realizing that, to quote Who's line, the points don't count, nothing matters, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
That's a fun little mantra to go with, because in life, the points don't count and nothing really matters. It's all make-believe.
Points.
The point is like to do what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Making this connection and making connections that we do at like our big men's meeting.
Yeah. But then I'm also delusional about like, I'll be like, yeah, it doesn't matter if I do a bad job at this job anyways, because comedy is what I really want to do. And that'll be my job eventually.
Hey, you just want to be good in all facets.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah. Like Michael Jordan, 110% in everything.
Exactly.
Do you think he brushes his teeth though, 110%?
Michael Jordan has to be insufferable to be around, right?
I think, may be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
He drinks a lot.
Well, I mean, you got to cope with being that competitive all the time in your brain.
Yeah. Do you think he's a billionaire?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I just saw that movie Air. It was actually pretty good.
I didn't see that.
It was pretty good. All right. We'll get through the third step prayer at least. So okay. I want to do that. and then we'll stop at the third step.
The spookiest step.
Yeah, because you're praying to a spirit.
Yep.
Ooh. Do you want to pick it up?
Yeah, where were we? We had to have God's help?
Top of 63.
Okay. When?
Yeah.
When we sincerely took such a position, all sorts of remarkable things followed. We had a new employer, being all-powerful. He provided what we needed if we kept him close to him. If we kept close to him, I was talking about God right here. God is our new employer of our life.
Yeah.
He's our boss.
Yeah.
He provided what we needed, not what we wanted, what we needed.
Yeah.
If we kept close to him and performed his work well. Established on such a footing, we became less and less interested in ourselves, our little plans and designs. More and more, we became interested in seeing what we could contribute to life. Ooh, I like that. We became more interested.
Yeah. We become more engaged when you're like trying to be of service to other people.
And it's like when I start trying to run the show a little bit more, even if I'm not even realizing, it's like
you never realize it until you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I feel like shit.
I do notice like I just don't like I'm not as amazed by what's around me. I'm like too wrapped up in what I need to do.
Yeah.
And I can't be grateful for what I have.
Yeah, it's really easy to get there because we're human beings, and that's like we're naturally not supposed to be all good all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need this stuff to help us, grow and get back there.
As we felt new power flow in, as we enjoyed peace of mind, as we discovered we could face life successfully, as we became conscious of his presence, we began to lose our fear of today, tomorrow, or the hereafter. We were reborn.
Dang. Not to scare you. If anybody had a bad, experience with the Baptist church, we're not here to baptize anybody in a river.
You're not going to speak in tongues.
You're just going to feel a lot better about yourself and the people around you.
When someone is speaking in tongues, do you think...
Laba, 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 laba.
Yeah.
Luba, 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 luba.
Do you
Just lazy. Learn a different language. Do you think Duolingo should have tongues?
Do you think they're saying something specific? Like, do you think that can be translated, or is it just
they just wanted to be a part of a community? If I go laba laba laba, people are gonna like me.
You're saying
they're at a big old mega church, and I'm like, I'm at the front of the mega church. I better if I can say laba laba laba.
You think they're faking?
Yes.
Yeah, but so
I better grab these gay ass snakes. Because everyone's grabbing these gay ass snakes. It's all trying to be part of a community. And unfortunately, people get taken advantage of it, a lot of those big ass churches. Yeah. Be like, see, I made him say lubba, lubba, lubba.
Lubba, lubba.
It's the Holy Spirit. And I did that. That's me. So that's dangerous, but it's pretty funny though.
It is.
It's pretty funny.
You ever see that video of the guy is like, I am delivered.
I hate gay no more.
I like
women's. I am delivered.
Apparently, that guy has a big Instagram following now.
Yeah, he's in a much better place now, which is great. Yeah, no, he's much more of himself.
Yeah, which is good.
We should probably have a clip of that. Can we put a clip of that I am delivered?
Probably, yeah. Guy? Is that allowed?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Oh, this is my favorite part. This is what I pray every day.
Here we go. Yeah. We were now at step 3. Many of us said to our Maker, as we understood him, God, I offer myself to thee, to build with me and to do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. We thought well before taking this step, making sure we were ready, that we could at least abandon ourselves utterly to him.
I like that prayer a lot.
It's good.
It's just like, I am a selfish being. Help me be less selfish and be helpful to you, and show me the way.
Yeah, that's what
Thy will, not mine, be done.
Yeah, it was a big part of my prayer life for a minute, just saying, "Thy will, not mine, be done."
That's all this is saying.
Yeah, because it's very nice to be like, God, take this away from me.
I like the take away my difficulties. This is not like make my life easier.
Yeah.
Because that victory over them, so my character defects and my difficulties, may bear witness to those I will help. Bear witness to those I'll help. So this is a program of...
You're not a grizzly bear witness.
No.
On a crime.
Well, we're so close to staying on topic.
Couldn't help
Not
it.
cocaine bear. Okay.
Black bear.
No, it's such a program of promotion through attraction.
Yeah.
And this is how we do it. Is like,
Yeah.
that guy's got it figured out. How did he do it?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how he did it.
Yeah.
So God help me help other people.
Yeah.
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 Help me help them.
Yeah. I had an instance this week. I had my show this weekend, and I had someone on the show that doesn't have a good reputation right now in the comedy scene. He's been banned from the Laughing Skull.
Taylor Swift bad reputation style.
Yeah, it's Taylor Swift. She is no longer welcome at the Laughing Skull. But he's been creepy towards women, and he's just like a bad guy.
That's not great.
No, and I was given advice just to just have him on the show, because it'll be, because I before shit came out and he got banned, he was going to be on my show, and then I was going to be like, I'm going to not have him on my show, but then I was given advice like, just have him on the show, it'll be easier that way. And then it got back to someone, and I told them he wasn't going to be on the show. It was a whole it made me feel like,
sounded like quite a kerfuffle.
yeah, and it sounded, I felt like I took bad advice, and my gut told me just to not have him on the show, but then my friend told me that the Booker at the Skull's like, no, it's good that he didn't have him on the show. But I felt like I let someone down, and I was embarrassed that I didn't go with my gut on it, even though yesterday I was told something that it was the right thing to do, even though it doesn't. In a situation like that, nothing feels like the right thing to do.
I got you.
Because
it felt lose-lose.
Yeah, and I felt like I did something wrong.
Yeah.
And I guess all I can do is pray for corrective measures on that one.
Just all you can do is like, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I'll learn from it. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just I've learned that I can deal with difficult situations. Mm-hmm. Might be just as simple as that. I
just wish I was better. I think it's hard to. It is hard to call someone out that is like being a bad guy, like to their face or something.
Yeah, I think.
Even though that would be nice, but when someone, you just don't want to have to deal with that in the first place.
No. And sometimes you have to deal with difficult situations, but then we have a support group and people to talk to.
Yeah.
To help us, guide us through when that shit happens again. Because I promise you, bud, no matter, didn't mean to call you bud. Oh, buddy, old pal. Promise you that something like that will happen again.
Yeah.
And you'll learn. And you'll be like, I'm going to go with my gut. See you later.
Mm-hmm.
Or not. I'm going to finish these last two paragraphs so we can close it out. We found it very desirable to take this spiritual step with an understanding person, such as our wife, best friend. Don't if your wife is not an alcoholic, don't do that.
Our wife,
please don't. Best friend or spiritual advisor, just pray with your sponsor. That's what that means. But it's better to meet God alone.
Can you imagine someone that says like, "I'm not going to do my fifth step with you"? Would you? I mean, people do it, but would you?
As long as you do it,
yeah.
Like I hope you do it in the most honest way possible. That's all you can say.
But do you think a sponsor would be kind of sad?
I would, if I was sponsoring somebody and they're like, I'm going to do my fifth step with somebody else, I'll be like, just do it well. Yeah. Like I would feel frustrated that I don't get to make sure that they're thorough. But we'll get into that with fourth and fifth. I just want to finish this real quick. But it's better to meet God alone than back to the book. But it's better to meet God alone than with one who might misunderstand. The wording was, of course, quite optional so long as we express the idea of voicing it without reservation. This is only a beginning, though if honestly and humbly made, an effect sometimes a very great one was felt at once. Next, we launched on our course of vigorous action, the first step of which is a personal house cleaning. Which many of us have never attempted. Though our decision was vital and a crucial step, it could have been a little permanent effect unless at once followed by a strenuous effort to face and be rid of the things in ourselves which had been blocking us. Our liquor was but a symptom, and we had to get down to the causes and conditions. So we can leave that on a nice little cliffhanger. What do we do next? Step 4. But we'll get into step 4 next week. Page 64. When I'm 64, step 4.
That's where we're at. Oh.
We got into that nitty gritty.
Oh.
First three steps.
Oh.
Check.
Man, that might have been the best stretch of my life.
Ooh, that sounded like a good stretch.
Oh, God. Man, that's crazy.
So we talked about in the last 2 episodes what God could look like and feel like for you, and then this is how we implement that relationship a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. And it only gets better. As my sponsor keeps telling me, it only gets better.
Yeah, if you stay in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, Not day by day. I feel like it's like
Yeah.
maybe like
Yeah,
this.
I felt a little bit like there.
Yeah.
But I've also like because I went on vacation to
Uh-huh.
a golf vacation, and then work's been crazy busy since I got back. I sold my old truck last night, and I'm going to a meeting tonight, but I can feel not having been to a meeting in a minute.
Yeah.
So
I've kind of dropped my meeting schedule a little bit too because of just being busy with work. So that's why I'm saying, yeah, it kind of goes.
yes.
But as long as we don't pick up, and as long as you kind of stay in it, keep coming back to these things, keep going back to these principles, you're right. It only gets better, which is pretty cool.
Sure beats drinking.
Because a lot of people feel like they're in a rut no matter what. And we get to not feel like that a lot of times.
Your books
fell apart.
So that means you don't have to do that part of the steps.
See you later.
Wow.
Shoot.
Okay, well, next week, Drew and I are gonna.
We're gonna bring an easel. We're gonna draw Mother Teresa with big old tatties.
Yeah.
Been eaten up by some gay ass snakes.
Yeah, we're probably gonna eat pasta live on the pod. And so come back next week if.
We're gonna write a live for step.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna just do the steps live with
Just
each
gonna
other.
do the steps live. 4 steps that usually take like 3 hours.
And if you can guess how many jelly beans are in this jar, I'll give you $50.
If you can't see the jelly beans, you're nuts.
It's
going crazy.
It's kind of like a
Right there.
vampire in a mirror type situation.
Yeah, it's just
So if you can't see the jar, you don't get to play.
yeah. The old tale is the vampires can't see the reflection in the mirror. They can see in real life. Vampires can see the reflection in the mirror. They just can't see jelly beans in a mirror when they held it up.
Well, it's kind of like a reverse jelly bean or vampire situation because you can see the jar in the mirror, but you can't see it anywhere else.
I think it's time we leave.
Ladies and gentlemen, for once again, I'm Taylor Neely.
I'm Drew.
And this has been
Them sober boys. Not them sober boys, just sober boys.
Yeah. I love you.
Bye.